So I should be online right now. So hello and welcome to a new stream in which I'm building more of the city in Classic. As you can see, as you might be able to tell, I've done some progress in between these streams. So before I start building, I'll show what I had built. So first there is this bridge, which serves as a pedestrian bridge, which crosses this sort of river that I have over here. I've also cleared out some trees over here because I would like to make a park in here, sort of medium-sized park. And we go over here. There's sort of a small park that's at the entrance to that's at one end of the bridge. Got quite a few trees here. We've got some spruce trees that I've replicated and some custom trees. Anyway, I had also done some work on this house. I've added a ceiling to the rooms that are upstairs. Another thing that I've added are some parking lots. We've got a parking lot in front of the restaurant that I've built, along with some custom trees and with 8 parking spaces, and also a parking lot over here in front of the apartment complex. Over here also got 8 spaces with 2 handicap spaces, and here's the apartment complex which I finished. The rooms upstairs are the same as the ones that are at the ground level. I think particularly interesting. Red roof, as you can see, and behind the apartment complex I've dug out a space where I've got some sort of dumpsters where the tenants can put their trash, and also added this wall to make it look like it's holding back the train that's over here, along with a tunnel, an unfinished tunnel that leads over to this beach area that I plan to work on in this stream. And I've also made some plans. I plan to build a convenience store over here, for which I've marked the location of how I made an outline for it to show how large I want it to be, and also make this parking lot. And we go over here, which is I've got some stone blocks prepared to make a bridge. We go over here. See another thing that I have built, which is sort of marshland, which I've created. Here it is. I decided to create it because there was some land which looked kind of like... Oh, hello neon light. I haven't yet decided if there will probably be some cars, but I'll decide later on where I place them. Anyway, here is the marshland that I've built. I've sort of created it because there was some land that looked kind of like swamps-like, so I decided to expand it and create this marshland over here. My plan is that I sort of want to build around it because it's a sort of protected area. You know, some endangered species live here, so it's necessary to protect them. Anyway, those are the things that I have built. Now it is time to return to the area where I'm building and start building some more stuff. Also, here I've sort of tried to make it look like the marshland. It's sort of transitioning into the sort of river. So over there the land is sort of dense. In here it sort of gets less dense. That makes sense. Anyway, time to return. And the first thing that I'm going to start working on, as I said, is a convenience store. Just we go. Anyway, yes, I don't remember. So gonna start with the floor, gonna rip it out, and I think I'm gonna replace it with sand. All the blocks with a sand floor. Just decided to open the auto clicker very quick. This should make it faster. We don't have the floor like this. I've also used auto clicker for some other things. Like for example, over here I've used to clear out the blocks underwater to speed things up. It makes things faster. Might be considered cheating, but I don't really care. Anyway, now it is time to start working on the interior. First, some storage room where the things that will be put on the shelf will be stored. It would be, say, this. This big should be enough, I think. Maybe a bit smaller. I think something like this should be good. And next to it will be sort of place where the cashier is. Say 3 blocks deep should be enough. With made out of blocks to make it different from the other stuff. with these sort of register at the top. Anyway, now the shelves. I think you'll have shelves made out of wood. So some will be sort of on the floor because the alternative is sort of to have shelves like this. So I feel like this is the best way to do the shelves since I don't really have access to slabs currently. Not sure if the explanation makes sense. Anyway, now some shelves sort of in the middle. I'm going sort of for a simple design with the planks sort of being the place where you place the items and the logs hold the shelves. I think this seems somewhat good. So I'm gonna start adding the walls. I think I'm gonna have them cobblestone and stone maybe. Yeah, that kind of is a like between like when well, even between when I see the messages as replies. Maybe I should do something about it. Anyway, I haven't figured out this whole streaming stuff. I think I'm gonna get rid of these shelves in here and just have a sort of window into the store. And also add some black logs into the corners. Anyway, let's take a bit of a look around. Yeah. I feel like this sort of design might be good. Kind of. I feel like the ceiling should be one block higher. Sure. Oh, I forgot to just raise it. I think it will be better. I feel like this looks better when it's higher like this, so I'm gonna create the ceiling again. A bit too hard. Now I'm just thinking what I'm gonna do with the roof. I feel like I'm gonna sort of trim, what shall we call it? No, I don't think that will fit. I think I'm gonna leave it like this for now. Although maybe a glass addition will be some stone block. In here, sort of freezers. Maybe there's some ice cream inside or something like that. And here as well. Anyway, this should be good enough for now. I'll try thinking about it, but maybe editing it a bit more maybe after the stream if I come up with something. And I also plan to add some road in here and have some stuff behind the convenience store as sort of delivering the things that will be sold in the store. And also add a road sort of so that the trash can be collected from behind the apartments, if that makes sense. Anyway, now it is time to work on some other stuff. I've mentioned that I want to work on the beach area that is over here, and I'm going to start by working on the tunnel that you use to access it, so that it's not just some bare dirt and some stone. I think I'm gonna make it out of wood, maybe cobblestone. I think that will be good for continuing this sort of theme that this wall has. just gonna need to cover it, well, cover the blocks up there so that they don't show. Although now I'm not sure how I want the sound to look like. Well, I'm gonna keep building and see what I come up with. I think cutting back the mountain, sort of terrain over here, might make it look better. And now the last step is to add the gravel and then cover the top of the tunnel. Anyway, I think the tunnel turned out somewhat well. Wasn't too bad. Maybe I could lower the blocks at the front a bit. That might look better. Maybe if I replace this block. I feel like this kind of works. Anyway, so now I'm gonna move on to the beach area and I add some places to sit first. Just gonna need to pick a good spot, because this isn't really a good location for a beach. I think it looks kind of convincing. So I'm gonna try adding like 2 or 3 more. Oh, a bunch more. Not sure how many. I think 4 like this should be enough. And now empty bag, I'm gonna add some sort of seating area. So we got some sort of benches over here with a sort of fireplace in the middle. that people can maybe use like during the summer, maybe in the evening when they want to real, prepare some food or just sit around. Anyway, I feel like this sort of beach area wouldn't be particularly probably isn't in the best location, but it might be good for the residents of the apartment complex or of the for people that live in the houses over there, since this place probably won't be used by tourists very much. Anyway, I feel like I'm gonna add another place for another seating area and then move on to other stuff. Not sure if we can tell, but I'm not very well prepared for this stream. Now, the next area that I want to work on is up here, because I feel like there's it's nice in here, so I'm thinking there's a sort of lookout in here, along with a bridge that will lead onto this hill in here. Just kind of take care of these trees over here. Probably should have prepared this area before the stream. Now, I feel like this sort of area should be big enough. Sorry for sorry for not talking while building it. I wanted to sort of think about what I want to do. That's actually a good idea with the umbrellas. I'm gonna try it. Yeah, they do look kind of better. I'm just gonna need to rotate them back to the top. And save the location so that I can return faster. Although I feel like the plus is better, so I cannot work it perfectly. Of course, if we get wooden slabs, it would be even better, but we don't, so I'm gonna have to build with full blocks. Now, I feel like the bridge should go over here. So the seating area should be somewhere in here. Maybe kind of like this, so you look off to the distance. And here as well. Or well, just some benches for out, and I think I'm gonna try to add a fireplace over into that hill, onto. Well, I'm first gonna add a path that leads over into this area. And I think some custom trees, well, some more trees will help with decoration as well. As you can see here, I tried to build a spruce tree of memory. And aside from trees, I'm gonna also add a few bushes. Kind of like this. They sort of like look like the tops of the of the trees from 14A Classic. Anyway, this should be enough for the trees for now. Might add some off stream, but now I'm gonna start working on the bridge that I've talked about and this area a bit more. My plan is to also try and make the bridge a bit more interesting. I'm thinking of adding a bit of curve to it. We'll see how it goes. But for that, it will be helpful to have some scaffolding. Preferably the one that isn't made out of blocks that I'm going to make the bridge out of, so that I don't get confused. Now I just need to measure things out so I know how, how I want to build it. feel like well, this sort of curve is good. Maybe going too deep, but I'm not really but I feel like if I went a bit higher, it wouldn't be enough, since I don't really have slabs, so maybe this should be good enough. And the last step is to add something to hold on to, so that people don't accidentally fall off. And I feel like the bridge is finished now. It turned out somewhat good, I think. Anyway, now I'm gonna start working on this area over here. I clear out some space, clear out some of these trees. That's also true. Be interesting to try and build a lighthouse here. Maybe I could build it at the end by expanding, by adding some more land in here. I think I'm gonna try that. See if it's, see how it goes. So, gonna try to build the lighthouse as you said, just gonna try to decide the size. I'm also gonna need to check how 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 high I can go. Yeah, this does seem like good height, good size. So I'm just gonna add some dirt here. I'm also gonna look from the side real quick. I think it's gonna look cool in here. It's a lighthouse is definitely a good suggestion. I'm just gonna add another sand pillar for reference so I know how high I can go. just need to plan things out a bit. And for that it'll be helpful to save my position at the top of the sand tower. So the first thing that I'm gonna decide is where the roof will be at the top. Just gonna sort of plan things out. Anyway, here are my current thoughts. These two blocks represent the roof, and here will be sand, which will represent the light. Here will be a sort of a balcony of sort of, well, the place where the light will be, and a sort of balcony as a lookout, and below will be the sort of main body of the house, lighthouse, if that makes sense. I'm gonna try it that way. And for the blocks that I'm gonna use, I think I'm gonna go for a combination of sort of stone and blocks. Kind of like you have the stereotypical of lighthouses that are white and red. Here we will have of gray and brown instead. Just gonna need to first measure things out so that I know how wide each strip should be. So it's 16 blocks, so it's gonna be 2 white strips. Starting with stone at the bottom. By the way, if you have any more suggestions as to what I should build, then just let me know. Maybe, for example, in the stream chat, in the comments, or somewhere else, wherever you can contact me. Oh, let's take let's take we can take a look as to how the lighthouse is looking so far. I think it's somewhat good. Top section needs a bit of finishing. I feel like it kind of turned out well. Maybe I made it too thick. Oh, it should be good. Oh, I feel like it's good, so I'm gonna finish it. And also add some railing so that people don't fall off. We are getting cloud jump scarings here. Cloud jump scare. Oh, for the final look. I feel like it looks kind of better with the added blocks. Although now I've just realized that the only thing that I need to add is some sort of staircase to access to the top, but the way I have access to, the way I've done the top of the lighthouse, it might not be so easy. Anyway, gonna try to do that. Gonna try it in the staircase. I'll try it in the staircase and see what I create. And we are almost at the top. Now, the sand is in here, it's a pretty large area, so I'm gonna come from up over here. And I feel like this should be good enough. And just as a good enough access to the top. The staircase seems to work well. It's a nice pattern. I'm just gonna do the floor, which I think I'm gonna make out of sand. Or maybe pink planks will be better. Now, the last thing that I'm thinking of is some windows in the sides. I think one block windows that are one block big should be good. I'm gonna try any of them. Well, now that I look at it, I've sort of messed up the pattern in some places. If I should fix it. It should be good. I think I'm gonna keep it like this, maybe fix it later. Just gonna try out doing the windows first. And I feel like the windows look sort of nice. I think I'm gonna keep them. Now I'm gonna replace the dirt with some leaves, just like I did with the houses over there, so that I don't have this dirt in here and I have some greenery in here. I think that will look better. Anyway, now it's time to work on the surrounding area, and I think I'm gonna add some seating in here so that it can look out in the distance. I think it's a nice place with a nice view, kind of. Well, this might not be a good spot. And also I'm gonna also add a path over to the lighthouse. and another place to sit in here, over here as well, and modify the terrain a bit so that the bench doesn't look so out of place. And I think I'm gonna modify the terrain here as well, so that there's more space on this side as well. And now that we got more space in here, I think I can add maybe one bench in the middle so that you can look out into the distance and view the endless ocean. Kind of a nice view, although kind of boring. Anyway, I feel like this area is finished for now. I'm not trying to think if I can think of anything else that I want to add here. I already have plans what I want to do there, but that's something that I'm probably gonna do off stream. Anyway, now it is time to head over in that direction and start working on something else. And while we do that, I'm gonna look at the lighthouse to see how it looks from a distance. Definitely looks nice with the fog that I have currently. Yeah, the lighthouse is definitely a good addition. Looks nice, especially with the fog. And if I disable it, I'll be able to see it from quite far away. And the sand looks somewhat convincing. Oh, the sand does look convincing as very light. Now, the next thing that I want to work on is a park. So I'm gonna walk there on foot using the pedestrian bridge that I've built. So, take my location first, so that I can teleport here, just in case. And I think the first thing that I'm gonna build is a custom tree roughly in the middle of this island of sorts. I feel like this is roughly the middle, so I'm gonna start building it, and I'm gonna try to make a sort of large spruce tree, sort of. So it's gonna be 4x4. Seems like I can still go higher a bit. Hard to tell like this. I think it will be just to check the height from the ground, so I can save the location, and I feel like this sort of height should be enough. Now I'm gonna start placing the leaves, which I think I'm gonna start placing 3 blocks from the ground, and try to replicate a large spruce tree from memory. Or at least something that looks like a large spruce tree. seems that those three will end up being smaller than I'm gonna make it. What I'm trying to say is that I'm gonna make it smaller than I've initially thought I would. It seems that words fail me. And here is the finished tree. I think it looks convincing. I feel like it's not too big or not too small. Now I'm gonna work on the surrounding area a bit, and the first thing that I'm gonna do is add a path around it. So I think this far away should be good. And it's gonna form a circle of sorts around it, so you can walk around it. And now I'm struggling to measure things out. But it's not working well for me. Now I'm gonna add some saplings to represent sort of flowers around it and stuff. And I think as the last thing I'm gonna add some more smaller trees to finish up this stream and then work on it a bit more off camera, off stream. Anyway, 5 trees should be enough for now. I think that I've done enough things on this stream, so that's gonna be it for now. I'm gonna do some building of camera, trying some planning of camera, and see what I come up with, and then I'll be seeing you in the next stream.